Yes, we'll have to have a big impact in this game if Larry Hunter is going to have a chance to get that win here at home. Win number 700 on the table for Larry Hunter.
And I think Coach Scott Padgett also looking for a very fast start. I think that's one of the keys for the Bulldogs tonight after struggling on the road. They need some confidence to pull off a win on the road here in Cullowhee.
First jump shot there by Demetrius Denzel Dyson. Not able to fall, and the Catamounts will have an opportunity to draw first blood. Desmond Johnson, outstanding freshman, getting the start there at the point. Mark Gosselin on the wing from Lyon, France. He's the four-man that will stretch the floor. Johnson steps on the sideline as he takes a pass off the left-hand side, so the Catamounts will turn it over. Neither team able to scratch the scoreboard on their opening possession, but we are off and running tonight from the Ramsey Center as Western Carolina, again, eyeing a chance to move within a game of the two-way tie in front of them. Both Furman and Wofford dropping contest in conference play earlier today. So a chance for the Catamounts to pull within a game of both of those upstate South Carolina programs. Down the lane, there it is. Talk about guard the guards. And just right there, a nice little dish off down low. And a nice move by Josh Sharkey, able to dump it off inside. And Eric Adams lays it up and in.
It's already good ball movement here by the Samford Bulldogs as they jump out to the early lead. Western Carolina, Daniel, when they lead at the half, such a different team than when they trail. 11-1 when they lead at the half, so they obviously want to have a good, solid first half here tonight.
Right side, Mark Gosselin dribbles it off his foot, had contact, but again, it came after the fact he lost the ball, and they'll turn it over. 2 turnovers on their first 2 possessions for Western Carolina. Take a look at the head coach for the Samford Bulldogs, and Scott Padgett. Can play at Kentucky for both Rick Pitino and Tubby Smith, a 2-time academic All-SEC selection in his 4th season on the sidelines for the Bulldogs. 55 wins, 70 losses overall, 28th different head coach in Samford's history.
Padgett went to the Final Four with the Kentucky Wildcats back in '97.
Tristan Chambers can't find the range from the right corner. Catamounts are able to escape, still trailing just by a pair. 1 bucket on the board by Eric Adams, the difference so far. Ashley Williams left side. He'll try to give the Catamounts the lead. His shot 3 ball, no good. Long rebound, and you see already leaking out was Josh Sharkey, but here's Denzel Dyson up, can't get it to go, and now Sharkey takes it away from Mike Amius. Smallest man on the floor coming away with the basketball.
Catamounts seeing a little bit of a different tempo than we saw against Chattanooga on Thursday evening. Chattanooga more of a half-court set. Samford likes to run with the ball.
Right now, Catamounts in a man-to-man defense. You might see Western Carolina, Coach Larry Hunter says, you might see us give up a few more layups tonight. They're going to camp out. Part of the game plan was to guard that three-point line. And, again, there's a drive to the basket, no foul called, as 3D goes down on the floor. And Doris Parks can't connect on the right side, and 2 Catamounts over the back. And a foul on Western Carolina, still not able to scratch that scoreboard. Larry Hunter, 13th season on the bench for Western Carolina, 699 career wins. Again, a win would put him on a list of just 40 all-time that have reached the 700-plus plateau. 38 overall years for Larry Hunter, and 117 games on the sidelines for Western Carolina. Inside the Ramsey Center, 71% winning percentage at home under Larry Hunter. Really prides himself on protecting the home floor.
And a good crowd here tonight in Cullowhee to watch to see if Coach Hunter can get his 700th career victory.
All right, now Catamounts 3 minutes gone, have yet to score. First look inside for Mike Amius. Over to Ashley Williams. He goes up, contested shot, can't get it to go, and Eric Adams comes away with it. Adams has been the big guy that has had to step up in place of all-conference performer in Wyatt Walker. And now a basket good by the Bulldogs.
It's going to be Justin Coleman, and again, we talked about how quick these Bulldog guards are, and you can see it here on this move inside the lane, the foul, and then the made bucket. And Wofford will have a chance to jump out to a 5-0 lead.
So Samford out in front big time here, 4-0 with a chance at a three-point play. You see Scott Padgett talking things over with Demetrius Denzel Dyson. Talk about 3D, and he's one of those players that I put him up there with some of the big names in the Southern Conference, the Francis Alonso from UNCG, the Fletcher McGee from Wofford, guys like that, DeSante Bradford up at ETSU, some of the top names in the conference, the guys that could vie for that Southern Conference Player of the Year, first team all-conference plaudits at the end of things here.
Catamounts have only had 2 shot attempts here in the opening 3.5 minutes of the game.
Yep. Couple of turnovers, now looking for the third, and it will be a third. Ashley Williams can't handle it, and again, not the start the Catamounts wanted here, trailing 5-0, and they've coughed it up 3 times. And over their first 2 from the floor, so really 5 empty trips right now for Western Carolina. And you got to think Samford loving the start they're getting off to here at 5-0, but again, it could be a lot more had they shot a little bit better so far.
Matt Halverson just subbed in. We talked about him being an impact possibility tonight for the Catamounts after scoring 21 against the Bulldogs earlier. And here's that first made 3 of the night for Samford, as that bucket is good by Demetrius Denzel Dyson.
Knocks it down from the left wing, and is now 8-0 Samford in front. And again, you see that full court press. They lock it down in a man-to-man to start the game. Inside they go to Amias, looking for Halverson in the corner. Good recovery there by Demetrius Denzel Dyson. Devin Peterson tries to dish it off inside. It'll be a 4th Catamount turnover. Hands in the passing lane. Dropped it off from Dyson. He goes up, no good. Rebound picked up by Devin Peterson. Catamounts looking to run the other direction. Good defense getting back, though. Quick hands of these guards. Quick hands and quick feet. Just quick all the way around. That one knocked out of bounds. Going to be last touched by Samford. We go to our first timeout of the night. Western Carolina still yet to find the scoreboard. See if Matt Halverson can find the range from long range after we get back. It's an 8-0 lead for Samford here in the early going from Cullowhee.
Bulldogs off of the three-point line and limit their paint touches. The Bulldogs are planning a fast start, which we've already seen tonight. In the last 4 out of 5 games, they've trailed by double figures in the first half. So the solid start is very important to them tonight. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, Summer. And just on cue, Mike Amias down inside gets the Catamounts on the board. Their first bucket here tonight, trailing by 6, 8-2, a lead that could be a lot more. Samford shooting 3 of 7 from the floor, but again, leading 8-0 during that timeout. First bucket by Amias.
And just building off what Summer alluded to, the Catamounts with 5 turnovers already, and Samford has been able to take advantage of that to build this 6-point lead.
Justin Coleman running the point for the Bulldogs. Lob down inside, that one off the backboard as he looked to get it down inside to Eric Adams. Again, we talked about Adams and the role he plays. How about Gosselin? The Catamounts kind of taking a page back. Mark Gosselin, a little cherry pick. He drops back, found by Darius Sparks up the floor for the easy layup.
Yeah, some great vision down the court. And the Catamounts have cut this lead in half on a 4-0 run since that last media timeout.
Some outstanding guards for this Bulldog squad. They dish it off inside to Adams, who was fouled. But we talked about Justin Coleman, the transfer from Alabama. Talked about Josh Sharkey. They're without perhaps maybe their best guard in Kristen Cunningham, who's only played 9 games this year, hasn't played back since December 10th. All-time leader in assists in Samford program history. 500 assists, over 1,200 career points. Get a look at Kavion Nolan checking in for Samford. First time he's been on the floor. Had a couple of points in that first meeting coming off the bench for the Bulldogs. And you can get another look at Eric Adams, a 67% free throw shooter. Got the first one. Second one falls off the side of the rim. No good. But a 5-point lead again for the Bulldogs at 9-4. Halverson, right corner, left open for 3. That one goes up but over the backboard. And we talked about Halverson, such a streaky type shooter for Western Carolina. When he's on, he's been really good. Again, he dominated things there in that first half offensively for Western Carolina. Really the only offense the Catamounts had in Birmingham. Of course, coming off a couple of threes last time out against the Chattanooga Mocs here in the Ramsey Center on Thursday night.
Alex Thompson, who scored 13 off the bench in the first meeting, just subbed in for the Bulldogs after a Bulldog miss. The Catamounts now trying to cut closer to this 5-point deficit.
Quick passes down the floor, and Mike Amias is going to get another look. That was very good passing, a little tic-tac-toe off the right side, and Western Carolina able to put it up and in, and Amias with 4 of the Catamounts' first 6 points. And the 3-point ball game now.
And a 6-1 run by the Catamounts.
Left corner, open for 3. Thompson can't connect. And again, Thompson and Chambers, 2 of the better 3-point shooters on this squad. Halverson, he gets a look for the left side, trying to tie it up and will. Knocks down the triple, and that's good ball movement, good rotation. And this run continues now, a 9-1 run by the Catamounts after an 8-0 spurt by the Bulldogs to start things.
You're right, that's a huge 3 by Halverson. We talked about his confidence. And now we've got a reach-in foul here against Matt Halverson.
Yeah, fouls Tristan Chambers, an all-freshman team selection a year ago, the Cold Springs, Alabama native, averaging about 11.5 points per game in conference play, up from 8 points overall on the year, and he is an outstanding three-point shooter, but trying to make him do things different. They don't want to give him that spot shot. Talking about Tristan Chambers, he has to put it on the floor, and not really his comfort zone as compared to getting the catch-and-shoot plays that the Bulldog guards normally get for him. Coming off the high ball screen, Coleman. Demetrius Denzel Dyson steps back. That one rattles halfway home before it pops back out. Shot clock was winding down. Was a decent look by Demetrius Denzel Dyson. Mark Goslin, off-balance shot, but Amius goes to the offensive boards, and he's going to be fouled.
That's going to be the first team foul on the Bulldogs. That's checking in now for Coach Scott Padgett will be Josh Sharkey. He's returning to the Bulldogs lineup.
Amius in that first meeting was really saddled with foul trouble, and he'll check out here as you see Amius go out, and Charlindez Brooks check in for Western Carolina. Brooks giving the Catamounts some good minutes as of the last handful of ball games. Amius had 13 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of steals, but a bulk of that came in the second half down in Birmingham. Foul trouble kept him off the floor for much of that opening 20. Parks, he'll try his hand to the three. Back iron, no good. And two Bulldogs battling for the rebound, and Eric Adams, who has been a big shot in the arm in that post for Samford this year. How about that move down the right rail? Nicely done by Justin Coleman, finds the range. Coleman, who leads the SoCon in assists, can also make his own shot.
Catamounts looking for their first lead of the game if they can pop a three on this possession.
Goslin back to Parks. Once the Catamounts started taking better care of the ball, able to pull back into this thing. Charlindez Brooks can't find the range. Rebound picked up by Coleman, looking to run. Coleman backside to Thompson, who looks inside. They're looking to Eric Adams. Adams gives up some girth to Charlindez Brooks, but he's got a good athletic move. How about that shot up and over Charlindez? Nicely done by Eric Adams off the right low block. Again, it's been a big part of their offense, especially in the games against Western Carolina.
And again, Adams also had a strong game against the Catamounts in that first meeting with 13 points. And now the Catamounts able to answer as Goslin gets loose and puts in a bucket, and the Catamounts within 2.
Yeah, you talked about Adams in that meeting in Birmingham. 13 points, 9 rebounds. Good ball movement, good dribble penetration. Again, finding the open man, that's what they do so well. Those guards for the Samford Bulldogs get inside the defense and are such good vision and such good passers. They're able to get down inside and find the open man. Speaking of finding the open man, Halverson open right corner. That shot long. Rebound battled for. Catamounts get the offensive rebound. Halverson thought about another shot. Jump shot no good by Goslin, and the Bulldogs come away with it with a 4-point lead, 15-11. 10.5 to go. 3-point shot left corner. That one's up. Off the mark, no good. And a quick shot that time by Coleman in transition. Devin Peterson has it knocked away from him. Ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Catamounts with 10.5 to go before the halftime break. The Bulldogs controlling the sidelines tonight for us as the Catamounts will maintain possession as we come back to live action. And Devin Peterson triggers it in and will run the offense.
Catamounts shooting 35% here in the first half. Samford at 42%.
Peterson will dial one up long range. That one good from the left wing. Second three-pointer of the night by Western Carolina. 2 of 8 from long range. Will close it back to a 1-point game. Score's been tied one time. The Catamounts have not led, as the Bulldogs jumped out to the 8-0 lead early on, but the Catamounts have rallied back. Good penetration, that one. Good job by Desmond Johnson, able to stay right in the hip pocket of Josh Sharkey. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be Bulldog basketball.
See what Coach Scott Padgett wants here on this inbounds play on the baseline.
Demetrius Denzel Dyson goes down hard the right side, trying to get one off the window. In transition, and Halverson loaded that one up, and Kavion Nolan comes across and sends it into the first row.
Western Carolina has not led here in the first half. So this is an opportunity for the Catamounts to grab the lead after they trailed early 9-0.
Inside, Ashley Williams looking for a slam dunk. He has it rejected inside by Eric Adams. Offensive rebound by Mike Amius. How about that nifty move up and under? That a very difficult move. Looked like he was just going to dribble all the way under the basket and head for the corner, but stopped and went right up and under. was able to get the reverse layup in.
Mike Amius now with 6 points, leading the Catamounts.
Last couple of possessions, we've seen 3D. Demetrius Denzel Dyson go right to the rim. Dribble penetration been a big part of what this Bulldog guards, and again, he plays that small forward position for Samford. As Kavion Nolan checks out. Catamounts have rotated guys on Denzel Dyson so far. Another dribble penetration from the right wing, and Josh Sharkey will go to the free throw line as he's fouled on the way to the basket by Desmond Johnson. And again, Coach Larry Hunter talked at length with his squad about trying to find a way to keep these very quick guards in front of them tonight, and it's not easy to do. Not a lot of people in the conference are able to do that, trying to build walls and, again, not let them get that penetrate and find the open man on the perimeter. But right now you've seen Samford a concerted effort to go right to the 10.
You're right, especially in transition. They are so quick, and that's what helped them build that early lead, and now they regain the lead. That's our second lead change here in the first half as the Bulldogs go back up by 1 after a good job at the free throw line.
1-2-2 pressure, then they drop back in. Now they've gone zone. And the Catamounts had all kinds of trouble with this zone, trying to get something going offensively. This time another ball knocked away. It was going to be last touch by Ashley Williams. Another Catamount turnover. As Western Carolina now has turned it over, 6 times in the early going. Ashley Williams will check out. Mark Gosselin will check back in as Justin Coleman set to trigger the inbounds. 9 minutes until the halftime break. Just a 1-point ball game. If you're Western Carolina, you got to feel like you're in a ball game because you've been playing hard and not a whole lot to show for it. Demetrius Denzel Dyson, 3-ball from the corner, no good, and Eric Adams was reaching over the top of Mike Amius. I think Eric Adams wanted the basketball, but I think he was lucky that he didn't get called for a foul as he reached over the shoulders of Amius.
You're right. Looked like there was some contact, but no whistle. And the Catamounts do have possession here, trying to recapture the lead as we go under 9 minutes left here in the first half.
Doris Sparks, an outstanding senior for the Catamounts, did not score in the first half against Chattanooga, but had a whale of a second half. He led the Catamounts to that 2-point win over the Mocs. Mark Gosselin, that one might have been partially deflected at the top of the key. They get out running, and that ball, the pass was deflected and stolen away by Western Carolina. Amius was all alone under the basket. How about that post-to-post pass? Gosselin to Amius. Neither one can finish, but Amius battling on the boards. He goes up, off the window, good. Mike Amius having to work overtime down low, but is able to finish at the basket. Will give Western Carolina their first lead of the night.
You can see the strength here of Mike Amius just battling for the rebound. And then the nice touch on the shot after the contact, and now Amius at the line for the chance at the old-fashioned three-point play. And this would give the Catamounts their biggest lead of the game if he converts the free throw at 2 points.
65% from the line on the year. Free throw up, back of the rim, no good. But it all started with positioning for Amius as he worked inside of Eric Adams. Adams was outside the 3-second area, outside that lane, and could not get over to stop Amius from getting the bucket. But how about that pressure? As again, good drive by Sharkey, comes up empty. Devin Peterson, a nifty move at the free throw line. Doing his best Samford guard impersonation. That's what Samford guards do so well. Get into the lane, get to that midline, and find the jump shot. Largest lead of the night now for the Catamounts at 3.
Also, the Catamounts controlling the boards, 16-9 right now, the advantage for WCU.
Alex Thompson down inside. That one just rattles out. He got a good look down low. Alex Thompson, a transfer from Auburn prior to last season, and he had a whale of a game in Birmingham last year against the Catamounts. He was averaging over, 14 points a game against Western Carolina during his career in the blue and red. Catamounts, a couple extra passes. Left wing Halverson, Tristan Chambers. Those two three-point shooters, and then Halverson a little over anxious on the pass and throws it into the high rent district, the courtside seats. But the Catamounts have rallied back from an 8-point deficit early in the ball. 3 straight wins over Western Carolina. They've won 7 of the last 8 since he arrived in Birmingham.
Right now the Catamounts coming out of the timeout, shooting at 40%, Samford at 31%. So Coach Larry Hunter, if he does get his 700th win tonight, hopes this hot shooting continues here for the Catamounts over the last 10 minutes of the game.
Demetrius Denzel Dyson whistled for a traveling violation out in front as he looked to go around Mike Amius, who came well away from the basket to pick him up on the left wing, but he turns it over, and 3D will go to the bench now for the Bulldogs.
It's going to be the 5th turnover for the Bulldogs in the first half.
Halverson left wing looking for the 3. Catamounts will go post-to-post pass. And how about Mike Amius? Adjusted in midair on a nice find by Mark Gosselin. Gosselin getting in the middle of that zone. That's something they did not do down in Birmingham. Coach said we did not have very good zone offense. The key to a zone offense is get to the middle.
Samford trying to find the 3-point range after the Catamount made bucket, and Mike Amius now the only player on the floor in double-digit scoring with 10 points.
Again, he struggled in Birmingham. How about Devin Peterson with a 3 ball from the left wing? And right now, Devin Peterson, who has struggled at times with that shot. You talk about Devin Peterson coming into the ball game tonight right at 30% shooting from beyond the arc, but he's knocked down another one, another big bucket.
A lot of confidence on that shot as well. 8 points now in the game.
Dribble penetration and losing the handle. Ball's going to go out of bounds. Josh Sharkey was looking for some type of foul call as he ran into the trees and lost the basketball along the way. Just under 6 minutes to go. Western Carolina now 25-17, and have really roared to life after a lackluster start, mostly to do with the defense of Samford. Parks around the horn. Peterson, who's looked sharp shooting the ball. How about Darius Parks trying his hand, and Alex Thompson, the biggest man on the floor. One of the big guys for the Bulldogs. Skies up to get the rebound.
Catamount's now 4 of 11 from 3-point range. Samford here in the first half shooting 1 of 6 from 3-point land.
Entry pass to Thompson, who's got a size advantage on Devin Peterson. Loses the handle on it and turns it over. Kick back, picked up by Halverson. Halverson in transition. Devin Peterson will try his hand at another 3. It'll knock that one down. Timeout taken by Scott Padgett as again, in transition, Devin Peterson looking like a 70% three-point shooter. That one falling here. And you mentioned the leading scorer right now for Western Carolina, Peterson with 11. He's knocked down 3 trays already. So Devin Peterson feeling some type of way here this evening with 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, he doesn't shoot a lot of threes. We allude to the fact that he doesn't make them, but his game is more as a slasher, a cutter to the basket.
Looking to answer that one off the mark, taken by Coleman. But how about Josh Sharkey once again? Being tricky underneath with the steal and his drive down to the lane. Good find. Right side. Demetrius Denzel Dyson can't find the range. That's their game, though. Penetrate with the smaller guards because they're so lightning quick, and then find that open man on the perimeter. Peterson looking to make something happen. His floater, that one off the window but won't fall. That was a little heat check perhaps.
And that's usually the one he goes to in his portfolio, but a little too close in tonight for Devin Peterson. He's liking the outside shot better.
Mismatch down inside as Sharkey gets to the midline. A lot of contact and follows through. Able to knock it down, though, and a lot of contact underneath.
That ends a long scoring drop for the Bulldogs.
Amius finds himself all alone as no one rotated around, and Justin Coleman was standing down there looking up at Mike Amius, who was able to lay that one up and in.
I tell you, these two teams are really battling here. See some tired legs out on the floor already here in the first half.
All alone, 3D, and just can't find the range as Demetrius Denzel Dyson is struggling in the early going for the Bulldogs. In fact, he's just 1 of his first 9 from the free sparks, the only 2 that will survive as the Catamounts go back to their bench. An 11-point lead with under 4 to go before the halftime break.
Samford shooting only 29% in the first half. Catamounts have heated up to 46%, and here's a near miss in the lane, but a good follow-up by
Marcus Thomas.
Who is one of the proteges on this team, one of the phenoms for Coach Larry Hunter, as the freshman with a bucket.
Looking to make some room as Justin Coleman finds Tristan Chambers trying to end the drought for the Bulldogs, and he won't be able to do so. Last bucket for Samford came at the 4:15 mark, so a minute and a half close to it here that they've not been able to find the range. 3 minutes to go before halftime. Catamounts, again, with their largest lead of the night at 32-19. Mutombo at the elbow. Goes to work, up and under move. That one off the window, good. And right now you're seeing the Catamounts feeling very good about themselves playing in front of the home crowd, a little home cooking, if you will. And they're shooting extremely well since the very sluggish start.
You're right. Quite a run here by the Catamounts over the last 10 minutes of the game.
Justin Coleman, good penetrate, kicks to the edge. Sharkey there. Sharkey back to Coleman, guard to guard. Sharkey to Coleman, and Coleman buries the triple. That'll stem the tie just a bit, cuts it back to a dozen at 34-22. I tell you, outstanding guard play. Cannot talk about that enough tonight. Love watching these Samford guards go to work, and again, missing perhaps their best guard, Kristen Cunningham. Devin Peterson gets to the midline. His floater's up and good. Devin Peterson is simply feeling it tonight.
You're right. I think that's 13. Am I right?
Yeah, 13 points for Devin Peterson, and it's come on now 5 of 6 shooting, including 3 splashes from downtown.
So Devin doing a little inside-outside work here to lead the Catamounts in the first half, and now Western's lead back up to 14, and here's another turnover by the Bulldogs.
Behind the back dribble, but that's going to be knocked out of bounds. As great recovery. I believe Eric Adams was the one that got back and got a hand on it to knock it away. It was a one-on-one return, but Eric Adams evened the score as he knocked the ball away as Devin Peterson tried a behind-the-back dribble, and Scott Padgett back to his bench. Kavion Nolan back in as Peterson triggers the inbounds for Western Carolina. And Adams sled looking at Devin Peterson. I'm not sure who was on the wrong. Coach Hunter looks at both of them as Devin inbounded the ball and was going to the far corner. Adams sled to it right to his spot. Now, had Devin Peterson been paying attention, probably would have had an easy layup, but went right through his fingertips and out of bounds. Extra pass. Coleman looking for back-to-back trays. That one no good. But great execution by the Bulldogs. Just shots not falling. And the Catamounts unable to take advantage. An ill-advised pass perhaps by Parks all the way up the floor, throws it into the cheap seats.
9 turnovers now for the Catamounts. Samford's going to try to find something they can use for a confidence builder heading into the halftime locker room as they trail by 14 with just over a minute remaining.
Up the floor, good dish, good find, and Adams, he knows what to do with it when he gets it wide open down that side. Again, that's what Samford's been looking to do all night. Catamounts falling asleep along the defense on the road than they are overall on the season. They're averaging, close to 78 points per game on the year. Collectively, only 68 points on road games, but you look at games they've played at home, they're averaging over 80 points per game. So right now, this is not uncommon for a Samford team to be below 25 points in the closing moments of the opening half.
And we mentioned the Catamounts want to have this lead going into the halftime. They are 10-1 when leading at the half.
Dribble drive, Marcus Thomas trying to finish up and under. Ball knocked away, now picked up by Adams Sled, but then stolen away by the Bulldogs. About a 10-second different shot clock, game clock under that. They're not going to need all of it. It's going down the lane, and now a late foul call coming. Doris Parks fouling Josh Sharkey. And again, dribble penetration by the Bulldogs. And Catamounts done a good job of preventing a lot of that here in this first half. But here in the last couple of possessions, it's been a lot of up and under moves and a lot of guys going towards the rim for the Samford Bulldogs, trying to find something. Outside shot not falling. You got to find something that's working for you.
And at the free throw line now, Sharkey 74% on the season, and he misses on the first attempt.
Bulldogs back to their bench. Stefan Lakic will check in. So Lakic will come in for the Bulldogs. And Eric Adams will have a seat. Second free throw good by Josh Sharkey. Desmond Johnson will bring the Catamounts back into the front court. Dishes off Adam Sled right side. His jump shot's good. Bench was yelling no. They wanted to hold for the last shot, but Adam Sled was wide open on that right wing and just knocked down the jump shot.
Yeah, good pure shot from the baseline for Adam Sled.
Catamounts will look for a stop if they can get it. Lakic underneath, blocked by Sled, but again, going to get him on the arm. And now it looks like Lakic will be at the line for free throws. Up and under move. Mutombo was there, and Lakic does a great job of using the rim to fend off Mutombo to work around against Adam Sled. Lakic 77% free throw shooter on the year. That one is good. Missouri State West Plains transfer. MSWP. Second free throw is good. Knocks them both down. Now with 4 seconds left, Western Carolina will have an opportunity Catamounts just get it in. The clock count had started. Thomas, shot will not be in time, and it's no good anyway. But that will take Western Carolina to the halftime locker room, and Catamounts will get off them
set. So they've got work to do to improve that shooting here in the second half if they want to win for only the second time on the road this season.
Catamounts will have the basketball to start the second half. Desmond Johnson and Devin Peterson actually did not start the game, but will start the second half for Western Carolina. Had the hot hand there in the first half. Devin Peterson with a game-high 13 points and really confident-looking shots. Here's a little spin-around move. That one up and good, and Devin Peterson is simply in fuego right now.
He is. 15 points, and Coach Larry Hunter hopes that fire is not extinguished here in the second half.
Lob inside, and Eric Adams will do something about that 24-10 edge for the Catamounts and points in the paint. His second slam of the night.
So the Bulldogs hanging around here, down by 11 as the Catamounts with their second offensive set of the second half.
Adams working hard against Mike Amius, who has it knocked away and stolen away. Tristan Chambers takes it away from Mike Amius down low. Chambers looking to knock one down from the outside. That one just a bit too long. And now battling for the rebound, coming up with is going to be Eric Adams, and he's going to be fouled. And again, we talked about it at halftime. Western Carolina with a 25-13 edge on the boards. Adams doing his best to do something about that, but is actually going to be called for a push-off before he got the offensive board. Ball going to go out of bounds. I'll say last touch by Samford. It'll be Western Carolina ball.
And for the game now, that's going to be turnover number 9 for the Bulldogs.
Top of the key, Darice Parks. That one won't go. And again, no room in the lane for Mike Amius to go to work. Chambers in transition. 3-ball, left side. Good. That's what they do. Talking about the Samford Bulldogs, they get up the floor. Justin Coleman. And what a bullet dime he dropped on that one. Went through about 3 different players to get over to that wing, and Tristan Chambers was all alone for the 3.
And if there's one player on the floor right now, as we see the whistle stopping play, a foul drawn here by Mike Amius against the Bulldogs. If there's one player on the floor right now that Coach Larry Hunter wants to see heat up here in the second half, it's got to be Darice Parks, who has not scored yet in the game. One of the leading scorers for this Catamount team.
You talk about Darice Parks averaging 11.5 points in home games this year for Western Carolina, but another turnover. Right corner, Coleman spots for 3. That one splashes home. Good. Back-to-back triples, and just like that, it's a 5-point ball game. Another hot start to this half for the Samford Bulldogs. Devin Peterson will try his hand to answer and will. Devin Peterson staying red hot for Larry Hunter's squad.
Yeah, 18 now for Devin Peterson. Catamounts back in the first half led at 1 point by 15. Samford had just cut that lead down to 5 before a big 3-point bucket there by Peterson.
Adams loses a handle on the way up. Can't finish. Devin Peterson down the lane. Can't finish there. Desmond Johnson's follow won't go. Empty trip for Western Carolina, and Eric Adams will draw it. He'll have a chance at 3 of his own as he finishes down low.
He's starting to become a big factor on the inside for the Bulldogs to complement the good guard play. And the Bulldogs are going to have a chance to get it back down to 5 here as Adams will try to complete the 3-point play.
67% from the stripe on the season for Adams, 1 for 2. Bulldogs went to the line 9 times in the first half. Catamounts only once. Free throw good by Eric Adams. Again, he had a big game against the Catamounts earlier this year down in Birmingham. 13 points, 9 boards, and was a big difference maker in that game and minimized Mike Amius for much of that ball game. Devin Peterson surveys the scene, looks inside. Amius and Gosselin. Desmond Johnson open in the right corner will try his hand at a triple. That one no good. And now the Bulldogs can cut it down to a 1-possession game on this trip. Up the floor, Josh Sharkey back around. Demetrius Denzel Dyson gets to the midline. Shot up, no good, but a foul going to be called, I believe, on Mark Gosselin. Looked to me like he might have been passing out of that situation as well. It's a difficult, good move down the lane here, and you see him continue all the way in, and he's going up high, and then was looking to his left, but I think he was going up with a shot, so he will be awarded the 2 shots here.
Denzel Dyson, 77% free throw shooter, and the first attempt is up and no good. Samford coming out shooting extremely well to open up the second half. Right now, they're on a 10-5, check that, an 11-5 run over the Catamounts to open up the second half.
Second free throw good by 3D. Just like that, it's a 4-point ball game. It's 3 minutes into this second half. Catamounts have had some empty trips. Bulldogs have converted. Mike Amius, free throw line, raises up, jump shot, back of the rim, no good, but the Catamounts will get the rebound. Doris Parks keeps it alive. Parks again has not scored. Mark Gosselin has it pinball around. Desmond Johnson ends up with it. Kicks it to the corner. Doris Parks back inside to Gosselin. Devin Peterson, top of the key. His three is good. Very good ball movement by Western Carolina. Catamounts will call a 30-second timeout. And with teams with 2 players in double figures, Eric Adams with a dozen to lead the Bulldogs. Justin Coleman with 11. Devin Peterson, red hot from the floor, 8 of 10 shooting, 5 of 5 from range, 21 points. Mike Amius with a dozen. Looking for more here as Amius with the steal, the layup all the way up the floor. And I think they're going to count the basket. Let's see, keeping an eye on it. Are they going to count the basket on the goaltend? I think they're going to talk it over. They may go to look at this as, again, out in front, Amius able to get the deflection and the steal, and then running the fast break. Good job defensively by Sharkey getting back. Eric Adams goes up. This one on the backboard. And
wow.
And I don't think it had much of a chance of going in.
But that ball was still up in the cylinder area. But they're going to say that...
wiping it off.
Yep. Going to be 2 free throws here for Mike Amius. That was a foul on Josh Sharkey, his first personal.
Free throws coming for Mike Amius. First one's up and is good, 47-39. And here in the early going, the Catamounts have withstood a jab from the Samford Bulldogs, trimming that 11-point lead down to, 5. Now it's back up 48-39. A 9-point advantage. Catamounts will go with their version of a pressure zone defense up the floor. Demetrius Denzel Dyson able to finish it amidst traffic right along the midline. Back to a 7-point ball game at 48-41.
Second half shooting right now. Catamounts at 47%. The Bulldogs opening up at 38%.
Mark Gosselin, left wing, 3-ball, good. Barely moved the nylon for Gosselin. Little European finesse for the 4-man.
7 points in the game now for Gosselin, and the Catamounts have gone back to a double-digit lead.
Mark Gosselin, one of the better 3-point shooters on the team, right at 37%, his 20th triple of the year. Ball down the lane, down the baseline, goes out of bounds. It'll be Western Carolina basketball. Lead back to double figures for the homestanding Catamounts. They lead the Samford Bulldogs 51-41 after Gosselin dials it up from distance. To go. Catamounts will get the ball back after the turnover by Samford, looking to build on that lead.
Catamounts being led in scoring, double-digit scoring by Devin Peterson and Mike Amius.
Give and go. Amius gets free for a 2-handed flush. Nicely done. A little give and go. Pick and roll almost out in front. Tristan Chambers looking for something off the dribble. Good movement, good find, and how about a 2-handed flush again by Eric Adams, his 3rd dunk of the night.
He's been able to be very elusive down low tonight for the Samford Bulldogs and some highlight reel dunks. That pulls the Bulldogs back within 10.
High percentage shooting tonight, 6 of 7 for Eric Adams. He's got 14 points. Catamounts extra pass, Devin Peterson, 3-ball left corner. That one won't go.
That's his first miss tonight from 3-point range.
Yeah, 5 of 6, but the Catamounts will get another possession on the offensive rebound. With the 9th offensive board now for the Catamounts, 9-1 by last count. Devin Peterson says, all right, I don't have the shot from outside. Let me go back to my teardrop and let it float down the lane.
We'll check his career high here in a moment.
He just has it. 22 points was his career high.
So 23 now, and he's got a new career high as the Bulldogs answer with a trade.
That triple back the other way, and again, holding it within arm's length right now with the type of shooting night the Catamounts have enjoyed from Devin Peterson. Here's another turnover. Bulldogs look to convert. Chambers goes to the corner. They couldn't find him. Shot up no good, but Eric Adams runs the floor well and is able to finish.
Eric Adams having a great game tonight, keeping the Bulldogs close, only down by 7 as we near 13 and a half minutes remaining.
Inside to Amius. He goes to work against Adams. Can't get it to fall, and they're going to call the bump down low on Eric Adams, just his second personal.
Well, the Catamounts had a thrilling, nail-biting victory over Chattanooga here on Thursday night, and this one also staying close, as now Amius back at the stripe to shoot two.
Devin Peterson talking things over with Larry Hunter, a career high 23 points for Devin Peterson. Free throw by number 23, Mike Amius, is good.
Daniel shoots about 64% on average at the free throw line coming into tonight's game.
But still unable to pull away from Samford, a team that has had all kinds of troubles on the road, but they're on pace to beat what they normally have been averaging away from the Pete Hanna Center in Birmingham. As Amius' second free throw is good, but he went over the line first, so going to wipe it off the board. He thought he had left it short and was looking for the rebound, so they call him over the line before the ball got there, so wipe the point off the board. Scott Padgett looking for answers. His squad is hanging tight. Look at Eric Adams down low. Cross corner pass. Sharkey dusted off there, goes all the way around the baseline, and it's going to be fouled, I believe, as he lost control of the basketball. They're going to call a foul. They're just going to say ball out of bounds. It'll be last touched by Samford. It will be Western Carolina ball.
It's a lot of contact, but no whistle on the foul.
Yeah, a lot of contact there, but again, it was just coincidental, they're going to say, as he ran the baseline. Lost control of the ball, out of bounds. Turns the corner. Sharkey kicks it back up top. Lockett will knock it down from top of the key.
That's a big three-pointer for the Bulldogs, and this has been the plateau they've not been able to cross. Back within 5 for the third time here in the second half.
Entry pass to Amius, kicks it out to Parks. Parks trying to knock down a three for his first bucket, no good. But Amius will get the offensive board and will go to the line for a chance at an old-fashioned three-point play. Good pass from the interior, finding a wide-open Darius Parks. His struggles continue tonight. Darius has yet to score, 0 for 5, all of them coming from long range.
We saw that on Thursday night, but once he made his first bucket after halftime, then he had a strong second half, but his drought continues here late into the opening part of the second half.
Eric Adams guilty of his third personal, so that'll put him on the sidelines, and that'll move Demetrius Denzel Dyson back out. Smaller lineup on the floor for the Bulldogs, and Mike Amius will hit the free throw and head for the pine as Charlindez Brooks will check back in. Catamounts without Otto Steger tonight. Otto not suited up tonight. An ailment keeping him from playing. He had 10 points. He had 10 points in that game in Birmingham earlier this year, and you talk about Mike Amius. Solid play for him. 20 points, and now 10 rebounds for double-double effort. Kick to the corner. Chambers, three ball. That one up. Back of the rim, just too long. Tristan Chambers is normally spot on. Dribble down the lane. Darius Parks in trouble. Finds Mark Gosselin. Samford came into the game, Jeff, the third best three-point shooting team in the conference at 37% as a team, but have struggled from long range tonight. Now Devin Peterson down behind the play. Chambers, another look at it. It's no good. Catamounts are playing 5-on-4. Chambers drives down the lane, can't get that layup to go. And now time called is Devin Peterson in a lot of pain, will have to come off for Western Carolina. That might be the biggest loss of the night, as Devin Peterson has been red hot for Western Carolina. 23 points, a career high, 5 made three-pointers. And now somebody else has got to pick up the slack now for Western Carolina.
They're going to go over and do a little work on Devin Peterson, so Ashley Williams will sub into the Catamount lineup. Talking about Samford's troubles from beyond the arc tonight, Daniel, 6 of 19 right now. So the Bulldogs definitely would like to see that stat change here over the last 10 minutes of the game as they trail by 8.
Yeah, just below their seasonal average, but again, 7 big percentage points when you start adding up numbers in terms of shots and opportunities missed. Entry pass to Charlindez Brooks. Gets it back to Darius Parks and finishes. Catamounts working the give and go. Nicely done. Parks entry pass, and will have his first bucket of the game, and maybe that's where the Catamounts look with Devin Peterson on the sideline. Good move underneath. Coleman kicks it back. 3-ball left side, no good. Ashley Williams. Matt Halverson did a whale of a job that time of boxing out Demetrius Denzel Dyson, 6'5" of him, and kept him off the offensive glass.
And just like we've seen throughout here the second half, every time Samford closes within 5 points, the Catamounts pull back ahead now by 12, and we've got a timeout on the floor.
Back out this time now to 12 points.
You're right, and that's, again, been a pattern here in the second half. After the Catamounts enjoyed a double-digit lead at halftime by 11 points. Now the Catamounts up by 12. And one stat, again, that's troubling for Samford. Catamounts owning the boards 35-18, but finally the Bulldogs get a big three-point shot.
Three-point shot from the left wing, and that'll make it now 63-54 with 10:50 and rolling. Desmond Johnson on the floor for Western Carolina. Again, Catamounts without Devin Peterson. He's back on the bench for Western Carolina, but now a traveling violation going to be turned it over, giving it right back. And we see Devin Peterson checking back in. I know Summer McMahon was able to catch up with the athletic training staff. Summer, do you have more on Devin Peterson, who is now returning to the lineup for Western Carolina?
Yeah, they checked him out, and everything seemed to be good, and so they told him he would be great to play again.
That's the type of report you like to have on either side. Young man Devin Peterson having a career night, 23 points for Western Carolina. Now a foul. Ashley Williams is driving and getting a step down the lane. Again was Josh Sharkey. So we'll see Catamounts go back to the bench. Charlindez Brooks, Ashley Williams will check out. Mike Amius and Mark Gosselin back in.
Pure speculation, of course, but in a game that's been this intense, so much action, possible cramp by Devin Peterson as he's able to return quickly, but we'll see if he has any more troubles here as we head down the stretch. A little over 10 minutes left in the game.
Coleman off a screen set by Adams, shot up no good, and the 11th rebound of the night from Mike Amius, who has had a very strong game. Double effort, 20 points, 11 boards now for Western Carolina. Again, he had 13 points in that meeting down in Birmingham. 13 points and only 3 rebounds, but another turnover by Western Carolina. Catamounts again had a 12-point lead, but Samford's cut back into it and a chance to trim it back down once again. And Larry Hunter looks on, the frustration of turnovers without getting shots. 10 minutes to go, halfway through this second half. Catamounts in their 1-3-1 zone. See if the Bulldogs are able to get some penetration from the perimeter. Left side, 3D, launches a triple. That one up no good. Halverson with a good box out as he takes care of Kavion Nolan. Reese Parks, top of the key, lost the handle of it for just a second, able to track it back down. Clock rolling, Catamounts looking down low. Mike Amius at the left elbow. Parks, one field goal tonight. Inside Amius, all alone, lets Adams go by, and then goes up and finishes. Amius knew that Adams, the shot blocker, was coming, but was able to delay long enough. 31 blocks on the year for Adams, but did not get 32 there. But how about Kavion Nolan answering at the other end?
Nice little mid-range jumper by Nolan. And before his bucket, Mike Amius scored his 22nd point of the game to complement the 23 by Devin Peterson.
Looking for the curl as Halverson tries to go up as he got a step and got around Nolan. And we've seen Catamount, the guards have been much more active in this game. As again, curling down the lane and right there on the arm.
Well, that's what you call video evidence.
Right there.
Yep.
Halverson looked like he might have got popped upside the nose as well at some point. Get another look at that again at the very end of the play. You might see him get hit across the nose. Watch at the very end of this. There's across the arm right there. It caught him on the nose, and as he goes back up, the foul was called, but right there, a little scrape of the nose.
This is good. It's a little bit safer shooting from the three-point range.
Yeah, he's had a very strong freshman season, averaging 7.5 points in SoCon play. Average up about 9 points per game overall on the year as Josh Sharkey checks out, and Halverson, who was a sharpshooter from beyond the arc, is even better at the charity stripe, 81%. Knocks them both down. Reese Parks on the floor, diving after it, coming up with it. It's going to be alternating possession on the tie-up. It's going to stay with Samford. Matt Halverson may have to check out. He's got nose continuing to bleed, so he'll check out as Marcus Thomas will check back in. But how about the play of Reese Parks here? Doing those dirty, rotten sewer rat club things that Larry Hunter talks about. Hasn't had a member of what he calls the Dirty Rotten Sewer Rat Club. Talking about Larry Hunter, it's guys that get down and dirty, will make all the plays, diving after loose basketballs. Brigham Waginger, one of his assistant coaches, the last one to join that Dirty Rotten Sewer Rat Club. And
I think that's also called the Whatever It Takes to Win Club. And there's a nice move down the baseline.
Easy to say that Demetrius Denzel Dyson will be in that club for Larry Hunter if he played on the other side, doing whatever it takes. And Marcus Thomas right off the bench with a big three.
So Thomas with some good minutes off the bench tonight for Coach Larry Hunter. And again, the Catamounts go up by 12.
5 points for Thomas off the pine. Catamounts have gotten a lot of production from the bench tonight. Peterson gambled on the three, or on the steal. Chambers ends up with it, pulls up jump shot. That one front iron, no good, but he's going to be fouled at the very end of that shot. And now Tristan Chambers will get an opportunity to go to the free throw line. Devin Peterson going to be guilty of the foul, they say, and Devin, look at the Catamount bench, they don't believe it. But a foul called, and Tristan Chambers, who's had some trouble. You see Halverson got the gauze in the nose trying to get the bleeding stopped, and Tristan Chambers talking about a shooter that likes to get to the free throw line and get an opportunity to get that shot going for him. Tristan Chambers, 84% from the stripe.
One of the top free throw shooters in the conference.
Yeah, and they're hoping that this gets him going from long range. Second free throw by Chambers rattles around. That one falls off. We talked about that one apparently. 70-59, an 11-point lead, just what it was at intermission. Bulldogs have fought back a couple of times. Amius will be fouled. If it's on Adams, it'll be his fourth, I believe, and they're going to call it instead. Well, they're going to get 13 Adams. That'll be his fourth personal.
So he'll head to the Pine with 8:04 remaining in the game.
And again, without their preseason all-conference selection, Wyatt Walker, 6'9", 240-pound junior who plays extremely hard. Adams being talked to by Padgett as he comes over to the bench.
Adams leads with 16 points, leading the Bulldogs tonight. And Amius, what a move inside.
And again, Adams has been the only one that's had any type of control on him down low. Adams on the bench now, but Amius has had a very strong game.
24 tonight for the Catamounts.
Chambers, cross-court pass, looking to Coleman. Nifty dribbling by Justin Coleman, and he's going to draw the foul on the Catamount four-man. Mark Gosselin trying to stay in front of him. Very burnt coming to Cullowhee this year.
Catamounts outscoring the Bulldogs 37-9 tonight in bench points. And another big key to this game, again, has been the rebounding. 38 rebounds for the Catamounts, only 18 for the Bulldogs as they scramble here for the loose ball.
Marcus Thomas gets it over to Darius Parks, who's hit across the arm as he goes up for a shot. Great hustle by Tristan Chambers and by Marcus Thomas, the two of them going after that elusive basketball, but great hustle by both young men going up the floor. And then Marcus Thomas knew he's in trouble. Great hustle by Parks to come back, and just a late foul. Look, they've got, Kavion Nolan on the foul. And now Darius Parks will go to the free throw line, and Parks has struggled shooting tonight.
Boy, has he ever.
Yeah, just 1 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 5 from long range. Only 2 points. Does have 4 rebounds and 4 big assists, trying other ways to contribute. Second free throw, that. Transitional buckets tonight Catamounts doing a good job. They're making them fight against that half-court set. The Catamounts have been packing it in, coaching line down, and have done a great job. And they've done so the last handful of ball games, really stymied Wofford in a road loss last time they were on the road, and, again, really suffocated Chattanooga as well.
Right now, the Catamounts have matched, Daniel, their biggest lead of the game. They led by 15 in the first half, and now same margin here in the second half.
Devin Peterson, a heat check that time, can't find the range, but another offensive rebound. That's what, at least a dozen tonight for Western Carolina on the offensive end. We'll get another possession, and we'll be able to roll this clock down to about 5.5 minutes.
Again, Coach Larry Hunter seeking his 700th career victory here tonight.
Reese Parks loses the handle on the way up, had it stripped away from him, and the Bulldogs looking to run in transition, in trouble, dishing it off, but there's Lakich able to finish it up, and Lakich will knock it down. Good finish at the basket, and that's what the Bulldogs were looking to do. Get something going like that, a transitional bucket. How about that? Tic-tac-toe, and Mike Amius with a two-handed slam.
And just a great flurry of passing for the Catamounts, unselfish play. And now the Catamounts back up by 15.
A much better job against that pressure defense by Samford. And now the Catamounts looking to run. Parks will slow it down as he could not handle the pass. They were looking to run. Looked like it might have jammed his hand as he's holding on to it in the far corner. But the Catamounts will look to run a more clock now with it under 5 minutes. 76-61. Parks, free throw line, shot up, good. Good find by Devin Peterson. And right now the Catamounts are clicking on all offensive cylinders. 78-61, largest lead of now third place in the Southern Conference standings.
And on the flip side of that coin, Samford really continuing to struggle on the road. If they drop this one tonight, they would be 1-13 away from Birmingham after this game. Here's a shot from the corner that is just off the mark, off the attempt by Tristan Chambers, and the Catamounts with another rebound. That's another stat that WCU has dominated tonight. That's the battle of the boards.
A lot of those coming on the offensive end. Western Carolina over a dozen offensive rebounds for second chance opportunities. Devin Peterson, scoop shot down the lane, and that's the type of night that young man has had.
Boy,
Devin Peterson takes it right down Main Street and gets it off the window good.
Yeah, the combo of Peterson and Amius tonight has just been a nightmare for Coach Scott Padgett and the Samford Bulldogs.
Under 4 minutes to go, and again out in front, Justin Coleman doing his best chance to try to knock the ball away, but it will take us to our under 4 timeout as Coleman whistled for the reach-in foul. 80-61, Western Carolina in front. Devin Peterson, a career this floor in Callaway, as we saw the Jim Foster from Chattanooga, the women's coach at Chattanooga, pick up his 900th career win here a couple of days ago, as Doris Parks gets his third point, knocks in that one from the charity stripe. Doris has really struggled shooting the basketball tonight, but has found other ways to contribute. But, again, there's not been a whole lot of basketballs to share on the floor when you start talking about 28 points for Mike Amius and 25 points for Devin Peterson, both career highs.
Yeah, the Catamounts have done it by shooting 55% from the floor throughout the game and 61% here in the second half. And now we're going to have a
kick ball.
Yeah, kick ball. I was wondering if they're going to tag Doris with a reach-in foul, but they're just going to say his foot made contact with the basketball, so the inbounds play will come near the Samford bench for the Bulldogs.
3:43 to go. 82-61. Catamounts going into a zone now. Tristan Chambers, left corner, three ball. That one's good. That's what they've been looking for pretty much all night long, is Tristan Chambers wide open in the corner. Just now 2 of 8 shooting, and now Chambers going to be guilty of a reach-in. But again, Chambers has struggled shooting the ball, but they've gotten some decent looks. That was by far his best-looking jump shot of the night.
Yep, 7 points for the Bulldogs. They're led tonight by Justin Coleman with 17 and Eric Adams with 16. Now the freshman at the free throw line as Marcus Thomas good on the first attempt.
And rattles home for Marcus Thomas, and Thomas with now, 6 points in the ball game off the bench for Western Carolina. 40 points off the pine tonight for Larry Hunter's squad. And what has been a total team effort so far, now the largest lead of the night at 20 points, 84-64. And this is what else is new type of story for the Bulldogs on the road, and now a blocking foul on Thomas as Demetrius Denzel Dyson goes over the freshman as he turned around, and Thomas was there. Foul going to be called on Marcus Thomas, who was there. And again, that could have gone either direction. Could have been a no call as well, but Bulldogs will benefit from that call and see if they can turn it into points now.
It looked like Thomas was stationary, so could have been an offensive foul, but inbounds play now for the Bulldogs, and time winding down as WCU looking for
another kick.
Win number 11 on the season. And yeah, you're right. We've got the kick coming up this week for the Catamounts. They'll be on the road Thursday night at VMI, and Samford will travel to Spartanburg to take on Wofford on Wednesday night.
Scoop down the lane. Adams with another finish at the basket, and again, besides being saddled with foul trouble, he has been superb there at that slam dunk down low. Full court press again by the Bulldogs. Able to press after made buckets, and that's been the thing. They haven't had many opportunities, or as many as they would like. Inside of 3 minutes as Western Carolina leads 84-66. Devin Peterson, floater, left side, and one of the few shots he's missed tonight. Catamounts going for the offensive rebound, but Adams comes away with it. Up the floor, looking for a slam. He'll roll it in instead and have a chance at a three-point play. I think at that point, if you're Western Carolina, you might just be better to let Eric go ahead and get the slam and not give him the extra chance to score with the clock stopped.
Yeah, you're right. Double damage. Now Adams at the free throw line.
And Eric does a marvelous job coming up the floor, looking out of the side of his eye, keeping tabs on where Darius Parks was. See if he can complete the three-point play, and he will.
He's got 18 now, leading the Bulldogs in scoring tonight.
Doing his best down inside. 84-69. Catamounts get the ball up the floor. Devin Peterson, floater off the window, no good. That one might have just been a heat check, and the bench for Western Carolina was like, hey, we should have just slowed it down. Chambers, kick to the corner, three ball. That one halfway home and popped back out. That's the type of night it's been for Tristan Chambers. Darius Parks lobs it to Gosselin, who goes up and under. He can't finish. Empty trips for Western Carolina, and the clock still at 2 minutes. Plenty of time. As Marcus Thomas able to get back and block the shot. No, they're going to call a foul on him from the backside. They said they called the foul on Devin Peterson. I don't think they did get Devin underneath. Oh, it was going to be on Marcus Thomas and Coach Larry Hunter talking things over. That's back-to-back empty trips where his squad, he feels, has rushed things. First free throw up and good, and back within 14 points now. Pull the Bulldogs with still 2 minutes to go. Talk about Samford, second best free throw shooting team in the conference. Entering play tonight at 76%. That one is good.
Coleman now with 19. Leading the Bulldogs scoring column, and Western Carolina here hoping to run the clock, but instead a turnover.
And now an up and under move. That one won't go, and Darius Parks will pull down the board, and a foul called on Kavion Nolan, I believe. But again, it's one of those situations where Bulldogs, Catamounts are right where they want them and giving them easy buckets at one end and then having to go against that full court press.
Freshman Matt Halverson is ready to check back in. Got some swabs in his nose here after that contact to his nostrils earlier. And the first free throw is good by Darius Parks.
Lead that was 20 a moment ago. Bulldogs have continued to fight. You know they will. They've won 3 in a row over Western Carolina and 7 of the last 8 in this competitive series. But it's been the home team that has had the advantage. Again, this is the 21st meeting. Home teams have gone 8-2, both here in Cullowhee and in Birmingham. And there's 2 opportunities at it. Neither one would fall. Eric Adams had a tip on it, but his second tip, he couldn't touch it because the ball was still in the cylinder. Halverson will try to run out some clock, kicks it to the corner, Mark Gosselin. And now a minute 30 to go. Catamounts have beaten the press. And now you see if the Bulldogs are going to just play it out. Play defense, and Tristan Chambers with a reach-in foul as he got a hold of Halverson going by, and that will put the freshman at the free throw line. Double bonus for the Catamounts. And Halverson again, 81% on the year. 2 for 2 with a stripe. Just the 10th and 11th free throw of the night for Western Carolina. Bulldogs have shot over 14 now. First one's up and good, 87-71. And again, a sluggish start. Did not look very promising for Western Carolina in the early going. That free throw is up and good now.
But even with the sluggish start, they've shot the ball extremely well here tonight. And Coach Larry Hunter, who will not light any candles for his celebration on that celebration cake until the final buzzer, still coaching away on the sidelines.
Out in front, Josh Sharkey kicks to the corner. Nolan, good dribble drive, left side, throws it up, no good. Rebound battled for. Now Sharkey kicks it to Chambers, who launches a long three. That one no good. And Mark Gosselin takes away the rebound from Mike Amius. Inside of a minute to go from Cullowhee. 88-71. Larry Hunter trying to get a timeout to get some subs in. And will probably get a rousing hand because of the way the five on the floor had played, but also the fact that now Jason McMillan, a Cherokee, North Carolina product, will check in on what is the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians tonight. It's the bottom half of the league that is starting to play some of the best basketball.
You're right. No one will be an easy out at the Southern Conference Tournament.
Coming up, first part of March in Asheville, North Carolina, U.S. Cellular Center. Jason McMillan out in front. If he gets a bucket, this place will erupt. His floater off the front of the rim will not fall. Adam Sled with the offensive rebound. As the Catamounts with the fresh five on the floor, they can take this one down to about, really down to the last 5 or 6 seconds. As the Catamounts have 4 fresh faces. Devontae Fuller pull-up shot no good. Eric Adams able to clean the glass. The only player that had played prior to this substitution swing was Adam Sled. Run down the lane, deflected up. That one no good as Tanner Tapp couldn't get it to go.
And if we have time here before we conclude the broadcast, our sideline reporter Summer McMahon will attempt to speak with Coach Larry Hunter about this milestone victory.
88-71, the final seconds ticked off, and Larry Hunter picks up win number 700. 38th year of coaching, his 13th year in